So good morning. We're going to be looking at learning outcome 4 for person-centered approach to health and social care. Now, this is our last learning outcome for today. Tomorrow we're going to be doing our assignment, so we'll be going into a lot of detail of what I want you to do in the assignment. So we've already looked at learning outcome 1, understand person-centered values within the health and social care sector, where we just talked about how person-centered values has developed, what sort of changes it's gone through, and any challenges. And then we looked at learning outcome 2, understand equality, diversity, and discrimination in relation to person-centered approaches. So that section was a lot of legislations. So we did look at Equality, Health and Social Care Act, sources of information like the CQC and the General Midwifery Council, just bits and bobs like that. Then we looked at understand how person-centered care is applied in practice in health and social care. So we looked at like how teamwork is developed, training, mentoring, coaching. How do we look at promoting an individual's equality, diversity? We looked at discrimination. So we looked at a whole load in there. Then we looked at ethical issues. Today, this section is all about you. So it's not about me. It's not about somebody else. This is about you only. So when you answer these questions, you have to answer them about yourself. So be able to review own person-centered skills is what we're looking at today. 4.1 is review own person-centered skills. That is a pass criteria. The merit criteria is 4M1, identify opportunities to enhance own strengths and address weaknesses in using person-centered skills. And then 4D1, create a plan to improve own person-centered skills. Now, the PowerPoint for this is very brief. The only reason that is because we're actually going to be working on tasks together today. So, like I said earlier, I've emailed you 3 documents. One was the PCA 4.1, your own skills audit. This will help you to answer part of 4.1. Then we've got a SWOT analysis for the merit question, which we can do together. And then we have a personal development plan, which we can do together for the distinction question. So has anybody got any questions before we make a start? Or has everybody received their documents?
Yes.
Fantastic. Brilliant. So we're going to go into person-centered skills. Like we said, it's about yourself now. Be able to review own person-centered skills. So we're just going to go over a little bit of key terminology. There it is. So in this section, we want to identify and explain your own strengths and your own weaknesses. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your own personal reflection, and then you can actually pass it on to friends, family members, colleagues, people you trust, and they can give you feedback. Then we're going to look at any opportunities we've got that might actually help us enhance our skills. So maybe you want to go on to do voluntary work. Maybe you want to do some training, get some qualifications. Observe other people within your work environment or your training environment, and even have like coaching and mentoring or discussions with other professionals. And then you want to make a plan to build on your identified strengths and address any areas for weakness development. And this plan is going to be realistic. Now, a lot of you will have already a very good idea of exactly what you want to do. So which area you want to go, what sort of things you actually want to be working towards. So you will already have part of a plan. So if you're doing this health and social care course to go into nursing, or if you're doing it to ultimately get into be a doctor or anything within the care profession, so you have an idea of what you want to do. We'll be doing that. So Stephanie has just joined us as well. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Fantastic. So Stephanie, we've just made a very quick start. It's we're not done much. We're just talking about what we're doing. I sent over a whole lot of documents yesterday, 3 Word documents. Did you receive those?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, what we're going to do is just a quick recap. We're just going to work on those together, so you can either just see how they're filled out, or if you're on a laptop, then you're welcome to work on it. I suggest that you work on it together if you're able to do so. So for 4.1, where it says review own person-centered skills, we're just going to go and fill out the template. So the template that you need is PCA 4.1. Stephanie, can I ask you to mute yourself unless you have any questions, just to not have the background noise. Thank you. So if everyone's okay, if you can go into load 4.1, skills audit for HSC worker. Now, this is just a skills audit that will help you mark part of your assignment. Now, you would actually include this as an appendix. You just include it as an extra attachment. So, just about the knowledge and skills audit, it just goes through what sort of knowledge you have, what your own skills are, and you can rate yourself. You can rate yourself as you have sufficient knowledge, so you have little or no capability. You've got some capability where further development is required, or you've got full capability. Now, the first section, now just to show yourselves actually, if you can see this little cross here at the top, this plus sign next to skills audit, because I've sent you a Word document, you're all able to just work in it directly, so I can type in anything I want. If you click on this here, and then you go right click and then you copy it, you can actually copy this into your assignment and paste it. So it's you don't even need to put it as an attachment. Now, if everybody wants to work together, we can go through this. So just to ask, is everybody working this with me, or would you like to just have a look at how I'm doing it? Just so I know what sort of pace to go at.
For me, I'll just have a look. I'll do it later.
Okay, that's fine. So what I would do is, I would just rate my own skills. Now, I'm going to put a little star in this. So my communication skills, I think I'm quite decent at my communication. So I'm just going to put a little star in that one to show that that's fine. Negotiation skills, I think I can still do a little bit more of, you know, development within that. Now, I've written negotiation skills that I can further develop. I want to address this by, say, March 21. And I would love to have this completed, say, I'd give myself a couple of months to develop myself. So I'd say maybe July. So I've set myself a target. So I want to try and start addressing this by March and then work on it and complete it by July. Conflict, I think that is in the area that I can have a bit more development on. Then I would put my dates in. Influencing, I think I'm okay in that area. Motivational skills, I feel that I'm good in that area. So you just decide where you are. So involvement, participation, so you would just go through the whole thing. Ability to promote and identify barriers to equality. I think for me, I'm good in this area, but I can do a lot more. Ability to challenge discrimination, I can do a lot more in that area as well. Individual judgment or presentation skills, I think I'm fine. Individual judgment, I think that's okay as well. And so, like I'm doing, I'm just going through these. If you have an area where you're saying full capability, you do not need to do date addressed by or date complete. If you say you have little or no capability or needs further development, then add in dates. So I'd say 1 and then have that by. So just a basic idea of how we're going to do this. And then you would scroll down, then we go into, so obviously there's loads of different things. If you're working anything to do with the healthcare, there's a lot of times where you're going to get into touch with families, children, people, just everybody in general. So you're going to need to just skill yourself. What are you like there? I think my creative skills can be developed, so I'll put that into needs development. Information gathering, I'm fine. Critical analysis, I can develop further. So just be honest. and think of how you can do. There's no right or wrong answer for this. This is about you. Only you know what is fine. So I'm not going to turn around and say, no, that's wrong. This is about you. Holistic outcomes. So holistic means focusing on everything. So social, physical, mental well-being, everything around you. So I think that's okay. Child-centered focus skills. I'm decent in that area. Holistic child-centered reviewing skills. I'm fine. Ability to identify issues requiring guidance and clarification. I think I would need further development. Attention to detail. And then reflective practice skills. So you're just going through. So this section over here is just your skills audit. And then you just do your process where you can, how are you with risk management, how are you with information. I think I'm fine with this. Risk management I can develop. Caseload management I think is fine for me as well. Information sharing. Ability to identify skills and areas for development, I feel that I'm fine in there. Internet and intranet research skills, I could probably develop those. Computer systems definitely need to be developed. Change management, maybe you would say no capability, or maybe you could say, so for me, I would put down, I'm fine. Time management, I'm quite decent in that. So this is about me. I'm answering questions about myself right now. Then report writing, you would say, I think I'm fine in that. Team working, partnership working, support and development of others. So these sections I feel that I'm fine in. So this is your skills audit, how you think you are skills-wise. And there's areas where I think I've got full capability, and there's areas where I think I can do further development. There might be some areas where you think you have no capability. So just be honest with how you think you are. And like I said, there's no right or wrong. Now, when you scroll down, there's a bit of a gap, just so we got a new table here. And again, you can click on this here, this little, and you can copy it and you can paste it into your assignment. It'll bring it in exactly the way it is. Now, this is about your knowledge now. So first section is assessment, care planning, and safeguarding. So we've got a bit of spacing not happening here. So DSCB policies and procedures, I think I have an understanding, but if I read them further, so I'd put down, I can probably read these further and I can address these. So if I start looking at the policies this month, then hopefully by the end of March, I'll be a lot more familiar. Risk assessing, I think I've got expertise in that area. Analyzing the implications and extent of risk, I can have an understanding. Social work theories and models, I have an understanding. DCC care management policies and procedures. Now, the last time I did this was the skills audit. I actually did not have much knowledge about a certain policies and procedures, so I put down awareness for DSCB policies and procedures. But now I'm doing this 3 months later, I'm putting down that I have an understanding because I've read into it a little bit. Not as much as I would have liked to. So for me, my knowledge has actually changed from my last lesson that I taught in a person-centered approach. So you improve, you keep on improving. Conflict resolution, theories, models, and methods, I have a good understanding of those. Parents, carers, families, children's, and young people's rights and legislations, I've got an expertise in those, so I've read up a lot. DCC and CYPS policies and procedures, I have an awareness of this, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. So then evidence-informed practice, understanding. So a lot of this area will be an understanding for me. Effective multi-agency working methods, critical analysis and evaluation methods. So this is your knowledge audit. Top pick is assessment, care planning, and safeguarding. Then the second one is service, improvement, and equality. So legislative framework relating to children and young people. So again, just mark down what you think you are in these. So I'm just working through them now. I've got a very high awareness of every child matters, so I'm good with that. Code of conduct, I've got an understanding. DCC, PCT procedures, I've got an awareness. Involvement techniques, which I've just missed out, so I'd say understanding. So just go through it, click them, star the ones that you're good with. Now, data protection, I've got a very good understanding of that. Office procedures, I'm fine. Electronic systems, so it'll take you, 10 minutes to do. For me now, I'm almost done mine, and I've probably spent 5 minutes on it now. So in addition, where I've put all these understanding ones or an awareness, I would put down a date when I want to address these by and when I want to have these completed by. And again, I reiterate, there is no right or wrong answer. This is about you, so only you know what point you're at. Now, when you've done this, copy and paste this in, or even just attach it, send it to me separately, that's fine. So copy, paste, just click on here, right click, and you can paste it into your document. When you've done this, you need to actually write down a review as well. So you're going to say, I've completed a skills audit for 4.1, and then you're just going to review how you've done, what you think you have, which areas you might want to do development on. You could say, I've got an expertise in a large amount of areas, but there are some areas that I want to develop, like looking at policies and procedures, or improving my own person-centered skills. Just to write like a paragraph just to support the answers here. So again, it's quite simple. Most of the work is already done for you. So anybody got any questions, or were they following along to fill this in? Okay, so if everyone's okay, that was 4.1. So again, fill that skills audit out. I've emailed it to you. Copy paste it into your assignment, which we'll go over tomorrow, and then put a paragraph in just to review. So you're going to need to review your own skills, just to tell me as a conclusion what you think you need to work on and how well you're doing in certain areas. Then we've got 4M1. Identify opportunities to enhance own strengths and address weaknesses in using person-centered skills. So we're going to do a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and strengths. We're going to identify what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and then you're going to list down what sort of opportunities you can enhance from strengths and weaknesses. So for this, actually, if you can turn your mics on, I'm going to ask you to tell me what your strengths and weaknesses are, what opportunities you have, what threats you might face, and then we can work on that together. I'm going to start picking people otherwise. So for this, you're going into the document that I emailed you called 4M1 SWOT Analysis. Now, you'll see on here, there's 4 boxes. So all you've got to do here is fill out your own strengths, your own weaknesses, what opportunities you have, and what threats you have. Now, I'll start off and I'll put down one of my strengths. My communication skills is one of my strengths. A weakness, I think I need to develop my conflict management. Opportunities, so what sort of opportunities do I have? I can have training courses. And then I could have funding, say, for example, from work or / grants. And then threats, it's time. So it's things like family management. So you got to manage your time between children, between other pieces of work between working and studying, so those type of things. So I'm going to pick someone now. Gania, I can see you. What sort of strengths do you think you have? You're on mute, Gania.
Reading.
Sorry, I didn't catch the beginning of that. Gania, you're on mute again.
Okay. Sorry for that.
It's all right. What strengths do you think you have? I think you've frozen up. Ah, you're back.
Yeah. Reading skill.
Reading skills. Oh, I can't spell. I should put weakness of spelling for myself. So reading skills, fantastic. And viewer 4, is that Tosin?
What do you say?
Viewer 4, is that? I can see somebody else. So Gania, what weaknesses do you think you've got? What can stop you?
I need to develop my reading.
So your research, reading and research?
Yeah.
And what sort of opportunities do you think you have? Now, do you have training from work, or do you have somebody guiding you, or have you got the opportunity to start a new course? Because you're doing this course as well, aren't you?
Yes, I do.
So this was an opportunity, so we could put down new courses to end point. So, you know, for example, if you want to go into nursing, so you can put down you've got new courses to get to your end points on nursing or care work. What sort of threats do you think, so things that might stop you from doing these things?
Funding.
Yes, money, yeah. Because courses, obviously, they can be really expensive as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Gania. I have viewer 4. Is that Tosin? I thought so, yes. So Tosin, have you got any things that you can put down for strengths? So what are you good at?
Right.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Communication as well. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, so when you're at work, so you could put down communication, maybe putting people at ease. And then friendly also. So is there any areas that you think you need to develop for weaknesses?
Teamwork.
That's a good one. Because from time to time, we all think we can just do everything on our own, and we forget that we've actually got a team that backs us up. Yeah. And any opportunities that you might have?
Training.
So training can happen in a lot of different ways. So it's not just you going on a course like this, but it can also be from you having a conversation with a colleague who might be more experienced than you, or, you know, shadowing someone or observing someone. So I'll put training and I'll write observations as well. Watching others work. Fantastic. And is there anything that might stop you from, or any threats that might, you know, you might face for development-wise?
family.
So again, family. So things like just getting the time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, with managing kids, you know.
That's a big one, isn't it? Especially with homeschooling going on at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tosin. Joe, are you here?
Me?
Is that Stephanie or
Stephanie,
Rachel?
I'm here.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Stephanie, I'll ask you next. Stephanie, what sort of strengths do you think you have?
Listening skill.
Fantastic. That's a big one that you need within healthcare, definitely.
Yeah.
Any weaknesses?
Yeah, language. What I mean, like, yeah, language, yeah.
Yep. So you wanted to say something extra? It's fine. We can write it down because we can
No,
always.
no.
Yep.
No, like, no, I was just trying to explain it. Sometimes when they speak, you have to listen very, very deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So understanding different accents and different cultures.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Ooh, accents, fantastic. And then any opportunities that you have?
Yeah, training. No, training from workplace.
Fantastic. And any threats? So anything that might stop you from doing any of these things? What about time? If you're working full time,
yeah,
or
school.
even if you're working part time, yeah.
Schooling.
So time management.
Yeah, time management. Yeah.
Yeah, because most of you are working, which I've noticed Gani joining in from work most of the time. It's you're working, you're trying to manage studies, you're trying to manage home life. So how do you do this? So obviously, so work, study, home life.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stephanie. These are really good ones.
All right.
There you go. And then I have Rachel and Joe left. Joe, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. So, Joe, can you tell me some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? If we start off with strengths.
Writing.
Writing. So, do you mean like in assignments and things?
Second, sorry.
So, do you mean like in assignments?
Writing, like writing reports, yes, something of that nature, yeah.
Fantastic. I agree with you. You are very good at your report writing on here. Any weaknesses that you think you'd have?
Yeah, I'll practice writing reports daily and always.
So what do you do with your report, sorry?
Yeah, like practicing report writing always and every time.
So it's your strength and it's your weakness as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. It's the starting off, because when I'm writing something, for me it's always the first sentence or the beginning,
you have to structure it and put it together.
Yeah, so I understand exactly what you're saying. So once you're starting off, it can be a challenge just to get started.
Yeah,
but once you actually get into the flow of it, it just goes on. Yeah, I have the exact same issue. Opportunities. What sort of opportunities do you think you've got?
Yeah, I'll constantly write report, practice it on a daily basis. Like going to do writing course.
Yeah, practice writing. So, and then we can also even add on to this, watching like YouTube videos, because that's an opportunity where we didn't have maybe a few years ago.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
The technology now, it gets you everywhere, to be honest. And then any threats you face?
Yeah, time.
Again, so time management like we got over there. So just physically getting the time to do these things, yeah. That's true. Thank you, Jill. Rachel, can you put your speaker on as well? Oh, fantastic, you're ready.
Yeah.
So, Rachel, what sort of, so we've got a really nice structure here now. What sort of strengths do you think you have?
Mine is understanding, lack of understanding of their
Is that for
language.
weakness? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mean in languages?
In languages, yeah, the way they talk, it's hard for me to understand.
So even sometimes cultural, what will happen is the English might be perfectly fine, but there's certain words somebody might use. So you're not understanding what is meant in those. So what about your strengths, Rachel?
My strength could be, how will I put it? Listening.
So you're actually listening to what is being said, yeah.
When they are speaking, I have to listen. Even at times, they will need to keep repeating it for me to understand.
Yes.
It's really hard for me.
That's good. Well done. And then opportunities. What sort of opportunity do you think you have for your own development or your own personal life, anything?
Yeah, maybe by doing courses or reading or listening to YouTube trainings and all that. I'm sure I don't know. I don't know how to improve on it really.
No, I know what you mean. And at the moment, if you go online, there's so many courses that you can get for such low prices, like, you know, the ones that you do independent study on. So there's something there for everything. I saw a course on aromatherapy the other day, where to do with those oils and those smells. So there's things, a course on stargazing. So there's loads of things that are available.
Okay.
And then obviously things like where people have, you know, making tutorials and things. So even that's a nice way to catch up on things.
Okay.
And any threats that you might face?
Family management could be a threat. Yeah.
I think that's a recurring thing with all of us now, because when you're working from home or you're studying, you're trying to do a whole lot of other things and then trying to manage family funding. Yeah. It can be a big thing. So what I want you to do, if you're on your phone, screenshot this. If you're on your laptop, just grab a phone and take a photo of it, because this will help you just to, you know, pick what you're on, what you can do, and it'll help you actually just fill out your own SWOT analysis.
Okay.
I'll just give you a minute to do that, and then if I do jump forward, please tell me and I'll come back to this at the end. Okay, so if everyone's okay, I'm going to go on to the next. If you didn't manage to get a picture, just tell me and we'll come back at the end. And then for D1, like I said, this learning outcome 4 I like, because it's all just about you, about how you're going to do things. And when we go through these together, you get 90% of what you've done. So before I go into this, what I forgot to say was, before M1, when you've got your SWOT analysis done, just give me a review of what you looked at. So just a paragraph saying, I've done a SWOT analysis, and I've identified my strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats. I feel like I can develop this area, this, that, and the other. And I just want a nice, simple paragraph. And again, this you can copy and paste this again. So click on this on the top left-hand corner here, and then copy and paste it. So copy it, and then you can paste it into another document. So it's very easy to do. Now, for D1, you're going to actually create a personal development plan here. So create a plan to improve own person-centered skills. Now, I think Joe's actually done one of these already. So Joe, you could actually just copy and paste that one that you've already done for, I think it was your health and social care sector or your academic research one.
Yeah, both of them. I think I did for both of them.
Yeah, so just use the one you already have. You don't need to create a new one, because if you've already got it, just use it.
Okay.
So we've got a personal development plan template that we're going to look at. We're going to look at you're going to look at your skills audit. You're going to identify areas, because in my skills audit, I saw some policies that I don't know much about. I have an understanding, some procedures I've got an understanding about, and I want to improve on those. So that will be one of my plans. So you can either look at it yourself, or you can give it to your friends and ask them to say, what area do you think I can develop? And they probably will tell you, oh yeah, your communication skills are good, but sometimes you don't listen that great. So you can take time just pausing, letting somebody else talk, or so on. So we're going to try and do it a plan that'll for a time frame of 12 months. So you're going to look at the feedback your friends give you, and you're going to look at your own self-evaluation to create this. Let's go on to 4D1, personal development plan. So it looks like this.
It's not for tea, for drink. Not so.
So we're going to go on to here.
I'm in class.
It just tells us what a personal development plan is, and it's given us stages. So stage 1 is personal SWOT analysis. Stage 2 is setting goals. Stage 3 is personal objectives, and stage 4 is reporting your officer's comment. So that would be if you passed it on to someone. Now, the first section is a development plan. Just copy and paste the answers that we've got from here. So like here, I would just copy and paste these into here. Because you've already done it, there's no point in doing it twice. I'm getting those in. Because you're just going to work easier. You're not going to make everything really hard for yourself. If you've already got something, use what you already have. Tweak it, adjust it, make sure it matches what you need, and then it'll be fine. There you go. So we've got the first section of this is a SWOT analysis. So you would put your name down. So I'd put down my name, if I can spell my name. Person-centered approach is my unit, and that's it. So that first section is already done because you've already done it for 4M1. You're just copying and pasting that into here. And now
I think we've done SWOT analysis before. Can I use one I did before? Yeah,
that's fine. Use the one that you've got. Like I said, if you already have it, all you've got to do is identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So it doesn't matter what format you've done it in. You don't have to have that template I've shown you. So like Joe's already got his, he can just copy and paste those and use those. But remember, we want to have a paragraph about you explaining it. That is what. So 90% is these analyses that we're doing now. But the last 10% to get your mark is you explaining what you've done. So for me, what do I want to learn? I want to learn get a better familiarity. Familiarity with policies and procedures. So what do I have to do this? So I need to read the policies at my workplace. So if I was in a care home, I'd access those policies that they have. They normally, A lot of the workplaces have their policies on their intranet, but some of them will, when you're starting work, they'll give you a printed booklet where you can actually just review, go through them. So what support and resources will I need? So access to workplace intranet. So simple. How will I measure my success? So I have a good of the policies. So I've written, when I have a good understanding of the policies, that is how I'm going to measure my success. So what's my target date for review? So policies, there's a lot of them. There's something equality, diversity, there's health and safety, there's policies about certain procedures, how you might do a certain procedure. So I probably set myself about, say, up until October, and say that I'm going to read through this, I'm going to make sure that I'm good at them. So October 21. So I set myself a few months. Now, has anybody else got a target that they want to set for themselves? It can be about doing any courses. It can be about what you want to do next. I've actually got one thing that all of you can put on to complete the level 3 HSC course. So how are you going to do it? You're going to continue studying. What support you need? You're going to need your PowerPoints. And tutorials. And how will you measure your success? So when you receive a certificate, so some of you are very close towards the end at the moment. Some of you have just started. So if you've just started, I'd say probably take you 8 to 12 weeks to go if we keep on our lessons. So let's say it's February, March, April, May. So let's put a date down as May 2021. So that's a little one that you can add in. So I'm going to pick on someone now. I'm going to ask Tosin. Is there a plan that you can, is there something that you want to work on? It can be anything, Tosin, about what's your next step? Do you plan to go into university or?
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh.
Tosin, can you hear me? I'm not sure she's having any audio problems. Let's see who else got their mic on.
I can hear you more.
Let's see. Stephanie, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, fantastic. So Stephanie, what sort of areas do you want to develop? What sort of targets do you want to set?
To complete the level 3 course.
And then what's your next step after this?
Yeah, I'll go into uni for nursing.
So to study. So go to university to study nursing, and then you're going to, what do you have to do? So you're going to write complete.
Yeah.
3 and apply to uni.
Yes.
And then what resources you're going to need? So you need support from tutors.
Yes.
And also apply to UCAS.
Yes, thank you.
And then how will you measure your success? So when you get a so how would you how do you think you'll measure it? Is it when you're going to get your offer?
Sorry, I don't understand.
So how would you measure that you've been successful in this? So I would say if it was me, I would feel like I've been successful in this when I've applied for university and they've offered me a place.
They've offered, exactly.
Yeah.
That's when I will know I'm fulfilled.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we could write when I get my
admission.
And then I know that they start in September, if it's a September start, so you could do...
Yeah, September, yeah.
September 21. So it's just easy. So all we're doing is writing down a few basic things that you want to do. So if it was for, if it's something that, I know a lot of you are doing English and maths as well. So what I want to do is level 2 English. Then I would say, what do I have to do? Study course. How am I going to get this? Through tutorials. Then how when I get my certificate. And then a lot of you can probably do this within like 6 weeks or something. So you would put down, I say March. So I would just copy and paste this. Into there and change that into a level 2 maths. And that's it. So you just want to put a few points down. So this is taking us up until October. I can change this, and if I want to have it as a 12-month plan, I could take it up to February 22, just so it's a 12-month plan for me. So, and that's all you need to do. So put down what sort of targets you're planning, set it down, and then again, you can copy and paste these into your document. So I'll actually show you an example. So click that, copy it. I want to paste it into another document. So for example, if I want to paste it over here. And there, it's just pasted it in. But obviously my page layout is wrong, so I'm going to change that. So that's it. So you're just going to need to get all this, fill out these 3 documents. Once you've done this again, also just put me a review, a paragraph again, explaining what you've done, why you've done it, what sort of things you're planning to work on. So always for every single one of these, you might want to just go for pass or merit or distinction, depending on what you want to do. Every single answer for this section, please write a paragraph explaining what you've done, and that will cover you. So I'm going to stop recording now.